Hi, grade 11s and 12s. You should be on page 129, trig ratios. This is where this is all coming together. Okay, the primary trig ratios are sine, cos, and tan. And this is, the sine ratio is also equal to y over r, x over r is cos, and y over x is tan. And you guys might remember this. We've tried to do this before. It's Sir Cox or Tix. That's how we remember it. Now, something that's interesting is on the unit circle, the radius is always 1. So all of these values are 1 in the radius, or sorry, in a unit circle. Therefore, the primary trig ratios can be expressed as the sine of any angle is simply the y value, the cos is simply the x value, and the tan is simply y over x. Okay? Since these simplify in this way, we can write the coordinates of any angle as cosine. Okay? So in other words, all of this work that we just did, if I wanted to know the cos of pi over 6, it is simply the x coordinate right here of this point. If I wanted to know the sine of pi over 6, well, that's just 1/2. Okay, try that on your calculator. Sine of 30. Do you get 1/2? Make sure you're still in degrees. I can't remember what order this does it in. Do I do sine 30? No, I go to 30 then sine. Look, I get 1/2. Okay, so having this unit circle is going to be an easy way for us to get exact trig ratios. Okay. We also have something called the reciprocal trig ratios. Cosecant is the reciprocal of sine. So because it's the reciprocal, we could just say cosecant is 1 over y. Secant is related to cos. I remember that because secant and cos, they're reciprocals. They have similar letters. Secant is the same as 1 over x because our radius here is 1. And then cotangent is the reciprocal of tangent. So instead of being y over x, before it was Sir Cox or Tix, Sir Cox or Tix, instead of being y over x, it is x over y. Okay. The last piece of information we need to know is the cast rule. Okay, so cast, we start here, we go C-A-S-T. So in quadrant number 1, everything is positive. In quadrant number 2, sine and also cosecant, because those are reciprocals, are positive. Cos and secant are going to be positive in this quadrant and this one. And finally, tan is positive here and there, as well as cotangent, because that is its reciprocal. Okay, so this is a good page to keep handy, has a lot of good information. Here I will do a couple example questions. These are found on page 133. So it says here, point P with coordinates of 7 and 25, 7/25ths and negative 24/25ths is on the unit circle and on the terminal arm of angle theta in standard position. Determine the values of the 6 trig ratios for angle theta. Okay, first of all, it's on the unit circle. Okay, that's important. So that means we can get some information from it, that this is going to be our cos value and this is going to be our sine value. Okay. Another thing I want to point out is my x value is positive, my y value is negative. Okay? Because of that, I know that it's hanging out in this quadrant over here. Okay? So only cos should be positive. Okay? Again, this My x value gives me my cos, so my x value is 7/25. My y value is sine, so it's negative 24/25. Okay. These next two down here are going to be very simple. They are just the reciprocals. Cosecant is the reciprocal of sine. So the reciprocal of 24/25 is simply 25/24. We've got to keep that negative. And we're just going to do the reciprocal here as well, because secant is the reciprocal of cos. Now we come to tangent. Oh geez. Tangent is always given by Sir Coxer Tix, y over x. My y value was negative 24/25. And we're going to divide that by x. And my x is 7/25. Okay, fraction rules. When you divide a fraction, you really multiply by its reciprocal. So we have negative 24/25, and we're going to multiply by the reciprocal. Okay, these 25s are going to cancel each other out. I'm simply left with negative 24/7. And that's looking okay because only cos and secant can be positive. Cotangent is simply the reciprocal of tangent, so this is going to be negative 7/24. Okay. Question 2 is quite simple. It says, without using a calculator, determine the sine of each of the following. Sine of 580. So first of all, I'm going to quickly write in cast to remind myself that's what I'm using. And now I have to think about where the angle 580 lies. Okay, so 360 would be going around once. 360 plus another 180. Is that going to be enough? Let me get up my calculator. 360 plus another 180 only gives me 540, but I need 580. So I need an additional 40 degrees. So this angle is going to be hanging out in this quadrant right here. This, of course, is quadrant number 3. Okay. So quadrant number 3, because we're talking about the sine of 580, only tangent and its reciprocal is positive. So we're going to have a negative value. That's all it's asking here. We don't have to find out anything about it, like its actual value. Okay, tan of 1. Because there is no degree sign, this means we are talking about radians. Okay, so 1 radian. Where is 1 radian? Think about it. How many radians, how many radiuses were all the way around the circle? There was a little over 6, okay? Let's think about this. This is pi over 2 is right here, or 90 degrees. So 3 divided by 2, is that greater than 1 or less than 1? That's greater than. So this angle is going to be somewhere in here. It's going to hang out in quadrant 1, and it's going to be positive. Everything is positive. Okay? So you guys have a couple more to try from question 2. Question 3 just asks what quadrants the angle would be in given the following conditions. Well, if cotangent is positive. Well, cotangent can only be positive, everything's positive in quadrant 1 and also in quadrant 3. So there can be more than one answer. That's what question 3 gets you to do. Okay, and here we're going to be using our unit circle for this question here. So what is the exact value for the cos of pi over 3? Well, you're going to have to go to your unit circle find pi over 3, I want the cos value. That means I'm talking about the x value right there. Okay, so, oops, there we go. So it is in quadrant 1. Its reference angle is pi over 3. So its exact value, the cos of pi over 3, is equal to simply 1/2. Okay, and that's what question 4 gets you to do. So I think I'll get you to finish up with question 4. Your assignment is going to be questions 1 to 4, 7, 8, and 9. But you have today and tomorrow to work on that.